80% of photography clients choose the photographer based on who responds first, not the pricing, not years of experience. Speed. Honeybook analyzed hundreds of photography businesses. The photographer who responds within 10 minutes is the one who gets the booking, not the one who responds within 3 hours. But the problem is, you can't respond to clients 24/7. You might be doing a photo shoot, you might be editing. You're not always on your phone. So we solved that with a system. Our photographers reply in 90 seconds, even when they're mid-shoot, even when they're editing. Average inquiry conversion jumped up from 30% to 45%. And that's an extra 12 bookings a year on average, and almost $40,000 more revenue. So in this video, I'm going to show you the entire system, each step, every stage, and all the automations. But first, who am I? I'm Sava from WebLingo. I'm the head of marketing, and we're a marketing firm that works exclusively with photographers. We've generated over 150 grand in the last 5 months. We've developed client acquisition strategies for photographers that help them book 3 to 5 times more bookings than their competitors. And in short, we make the photographers' lives much easier while helping them make more money. And in this YouTube channel, we give you 2 weekly videos where we explain the exact systems that we implement for our clients. So let's get started. Here's how to set up a system that follows up with leads to get them to book. So this system has 5 stages. The first stage is the initial response. This is an auto reply that's fired within 90 seconds. The client thinks you did it yourself. The second stage is value delivery. It's a detailed response within 24 hours. Process specifics, but no pricing yet. The third stage is the follow-up sequence. It's a series of emails that you send them if they haven't responded or they're still cold. The fourth stage is pricing presentation. This is value first pricing. It's not a PDF. It has all the justification for you to charge how much you charge them. And we have stage 5, which is the contract and the payment, which is still all automated. Okay, so the instant response. This is the first 90 seconds. Someone fills out your contact form. Within 90 seconds, they either receive a message or an email. This is the most important email in your entire business because the client's brain makes a snap judgment about reliability in the first 10 seconds. Fast response signals to them that you're organized. And if you're organized, you're trustworthy. A slow response, on the other hand, shows that you're disorganized and more risky. You're competing with 3 to 5 other photographers that they've already contacted, or they're planning to contact them. You should always keep this in mind. Whoever replies first has a 40% higher chance in booking. But you can't actually reply in 90 seconds because you're working. So we automate it. And here's the template structure that we usually use. So onto the subject line, either a reply to their inquiry subject or got your inquiry and then you put in their name. So got your inquiry, Janice. So in the body of your email, you write them, hey name, just got your inquiry about whatever, their session or a date. Then you write, I'm currently with a client, or I'm in a session, or I'm out shooting, but I didn't want you to wait. I put together a guide or a timeline or a checklist, whatever, a resource that answers the most common questions that photographers get at this stage. And then tell them a specific benefit they'll get from this resource. I'll send you a detailed personal response with my availability and process info by a specific time tomorrow. So 10 a.m. tomorrow or tonight by 8 p.m. Then you write, looking forward to learning more about your project. Talk soon, your name, and then PS, if you want to skip ahead and book a quick call, here's my calendar, and then you embed a link. So what is attached is a PDF resource. I'll get to more on this in a minute. So what does this email do? It shows them that you got their message, you've acknowledged they exist, and you'll send them more info shortly. But it shows that you're responsible. So this PDF that you're going to include in this email is something that's actually genuinely useful to them. And that's very important because people aren't going to read some random PDF. So here you need to do some client research about what exactly your types of clients, what do they actually want to read? If it's a B2B type of shoot, maybe you want to put together a branding guide, or let's say trends in 2026 for XYZ type of businesses in branding. So you want to make sure that they actually read it. You want to solve their problem right off the bat. In the first 90 seconds, of them contacting you, you want to make sure to solve one specific problem of theirs. And yes, sure, you're a photographer, you take photos, but if you actually want to charge high prices, you want to offer them more, because ultimately your clients want a problem solved, and photos are just a mechanism to that. So if you can take a more holistic approach to solving these problems, they're going to trust you much more than the other photographers that they've contacted. So in short, this PDF positions you as the expert. It pre-qualifies your client, and it keeps you top of mind, because you should then, in this PDF, you should encourage them to share this around. So send them this email or message within 90 seconds of them reaching out to you. So then you get to the value delivery, which is day 1. 12 to 24 hours after the auto response, you send the detailed reply. You manually write this reply. It's not automated, but it should follow a proven structure that I'm going to tell you. This email has only one job. This one job is to establish value before discussing price. Most photographers do this backwards because the client wants to take the frame. Client asks, what are your rates? And then the photographer replies, here's my pricing guide. And then there's a PDF. You just became a commodity, and the client is now comparing your prices to 4 other PDFs that they've received from other photographers. So we do it differently. You want to establish value before you discuss the price. What you do is use a value first response structure. Give them a personal connection in the first 2 to 3 sentences of your email. Then you give them proof, 1 paragraph plus a link. Now, pro tip, if you watched our website guide video, we tell you that you should create 3 to 4 steps of working with you. Now, you could just directly copy paste these steps into your email and it's going to work. Then after this process clarity, just 3 to 4 bullet points. Remember, you don't need to give them an entire essay. You want to give them even more social proof. These are 2 to 3 testimonials. Then once they get through these testimonials, you're going to call them to action, which is 1 sentence. And all of this is done without mentioning price. So what this email accomplishes, so first of all, they know the next step, which is done through the call to action. They've also heard from people like them, social proof. Let's say a realtor reaches out to you for headshots. What you want to do is you want to give them testimonials of other realtors that you've worked with in your email. And you want to make sure that these are the most recognizable names. After reading this email, they know that you understand their situation. They understand exactly what they're getting in your 3 to 4 step process. And they've also seen proof that you can deliver with a full gallery. Then we get to the follow-up sequence. These are days 3 to 10. You sent the value email, they read it, and you can track opens if you use Honeybook or Dubsado or some other CRM. They don't reply. Now here, most photographers give up. You might think, they might have found someone else. They're probably just price shopping. Or if they were serious, they'd respond. And it's all wrong because they are comparing options. They're talking to their partner. They're checking their budget and they're getting distracted by life. They've not decided against you. They just simply haven't decided for you yet. And that's where the follow-up makes the difference because we follow up 3 times over a span of 10 days. Each follow-up increases conversion by another 8 to 10%. Here's the exact sequence. In the day 3 follow-up, you give them social proof and it shows you're thinking about them. It provides social proof from someone in their situation and it's low pressure. So it could be a simple message acknowledging that they exist. Then you continue showing them the social proof of people that you've helped who are like them or at least in a similar industry. And then you have a light call to action offering to answer questions. And you don't say, let me know if you have any questions. You just ask them one specific thing that could be easily answered. And that starts a reactivation chain. So then you get to the day 7 follow-up. This is availability and scarcity. It creates urgency without being pushy. You could talk about your availability in this month. Maybe you're booked out. Maybe you have only a couple spots left. It makes booking feel easy. It reminds them that you're in demand. Because if they still haven't booked with you, they haven't taken you serious. They need that little nudge. And most often, it's done with scarcity. And then finally, the day 10 follow-up is the final check-in. It takes the pressure off. It makes it safe to re-engage by simply offering help and with one final clear call to action. And this is more direct. And it closes the loop because you basically let them know that you're not going to contact them again. So this is the last opportunity that they would get to work with you. Without a follow-up, 30% of inquiries convert after the first email. But with a 3-touch follow-up, 45% of inquiries convert. Then the next stage, which is the pricing presentation. Because let's say your follow-up worked, which it should. Now they're asking you the price. They replied to one of your emails. And this is where most photographers lose the booking. Not because your prices are too high, but because you present the pricing wrong. Now you have two ways. There's the wrong way and the right way. So how most photographers do it is client asks, what are your rates? So you tell them, here's my pricing guide, and then you attach a PDF. Then the PDF shows 3 packages: bronze, $1,800, silver, $2,500, and gold, $3,200. And what the client does is they forward it to other photographers' pricing PDFs, and they compare numbers. And now you're competing alone on price. Then you have the right way, which is value first pricing. The client asks you, what are your rates? And then you as a photographer, you respond with, I'd love to walk you through what's included and how the pricing works. When's a good time for a quick 15-minute call? Or if they push for the email, the photographer sends an email that includes pricing but wraps it in context. So let's say you get on the call first. What you need to do is you need to outline their problem, because your client ultimately wants some result. And if you talk to them face to face, the longer you talk to them, the higher chances are that they'll trust you and they'll see you as the best option. And in this call, you can negotiate. So that's why you should push for the call. However, if they want an email, you want to send them something like this. So this is the value first pricing email structure. The first section is the investment philosophy. These are 2 to 3 sentences. This pre-frames the price. They're not just paying for photos, they're paying for time, expertise, systems, insurance, and deliverables. Then in the next section is what's included and what's extra. Clarity eliminates objections. They know exactly what they're getting and what costs extra. Then you give them investment options. You don't call them packages, you call them investment options or coverage options. Language here matters. So here are the 3 options, for example, essential coverage, complete coverage, and premium coverage. You tell them how many hours are included, number of images, the specific deliverables, and the delivery timeline. And then you just scale this up as the price increases. Then in section 4, you have the next steps. If you're ready to move forward, here's what happens next. And then you give them the process in 3 to 4 steps. The shorter it is, the better. Reply to this email or grab time on my calendar. And then you send them another link. It's clean, linear, and no confusion. Then you get to the contract and payment. They said yes to your pricing. Now you need to send the contract, get it signed, collect payment, confirm the booking, and begin onboarding. Most photographers do this manually. I'll email you the contract, let me know when you signed it. Then they wait, then they chase, then they follow up, they remind. The client procrastinates, and the booking sits in a limbo. And you're anxious. So that's why you should just automate it. Here's the automated booking flow. In step 1, client says yes via call or email. In step 2, you send them a booking link. Then they land on a page that shows contract terms, invoice, and next steps. Then they sign the contract digitally. This could be done with 17 hats. Then the signature triggers invoice to become payable. Then they pay via credit card, debit, or bank transfer. This payment triggers an automated confirmation email. This confirmation email includes calendar hold for their next date, onboarding questionnaire link, next steps and timeline, and then obviously your contact info if they have any questions. Then an onboarding questionnaire is already automatically delivered to them. In step 10, clients receive automated reminder emails before the shoot. This includes final details, what to bring, timeline review, and contact info. And the manual work required from you is 0. Why does this matter? Well, every step is an opportunity for them to get distracted. It could get them to reconsider, forget, or ghost. And that's why one-click booking is required. It removes all friction. They go from yes to paid in 5 minutes. So let me tell you what the system actually does. Before the system, you're at 80 inquiries per year at a 30% conversion rate, 24 bookings. Lets you get $3,200 on average per booking. Your revenue is just under $77,000. Now, this is just a theoretical situation, but after the system, if your conversion rate is up by 15% to 45% due to an automated response, a follow-up, and value-first pricing, you're at 36 bookings at a $3,200 average per booking. Your revenue shoots up to over $115,000. But here's what actually changes. At a 45% conversion rate, you're not desperate anymore. Because then you can raise prices, you can qualify harder, and you can fire the bad fit clients. Now, let's say you're at $4,500 per booking because you're selective and confident. At the same 36 bookings, but you raise your prices to $4,500, you're now at $162,000. This is not just more bookings, it's better bookings at higher prices and more profit. And you're working less because this system handles inquiry management automatically. So you watch this video all the way through, and I have something that I want to give to you. We run a daily email newsletter where we send marketing tricks, business tactics, specifically for photographers. It's completely free. All you need to do is to sign up with your email. It's in the first link in the description. If you're curious about how to set this up, just reply to one of the emails that we send and we can talk more. But regardless, you should sign up because you also get 4 free guides that show you how to speed up processes, how to write a long form piece of content in just 20 minutes, and also how to get the most out of every client and how to get them to refer you. So if that sounds interesting, click the first link in the description and I'll see you inside.